Hello ladies and gentlemen, Panzer here, and today we're taking a look at Holy Potatoes, a weapon shop. Now I'm not kidding, that is the actual title. That's not stylized in any way, it's on Steam with that actual name. Now this is a... oh, it's a weird one. It's made by a company called Daylight Studios. It's a company based here in Singapore. But, unlike what the name says, it has nothing to do with the Daylight game that you might have seen up some time ago. That was actually made by a different studio. This company has, as far as I can tell, mostly experience with mobile games in the past, and this is their first foray into the PC gaming market. So you can see some very obvious inspirations from PC, or rather from mobile games, in particular menus, and you're going to see a lot more later on. It looks like a very mobile-friendly game, but I don't know if there's any plans to actually put it on mobiles yet. There's currently no Android or iOS link or anything up yet, so I don't know if this is going to be coming to that or not, or whether this is based on a game that is on mobile. But nevertheless, let's take a look at what it is now on PC. So, first things first, this is the options menu. And, there are a couple of problems. These are not volume sliders that work in a way that I like. Firstly, the normal volume is very, very loud for the music. Now, the music is nice. Don't get me wrong, the music is quite nice, but I do normally like to have this set lower than normal, and the increments just don't really... there's not enough variation in them. Like, I want this a little bit louder, but this is too quiet. So, it's just small gripes there that I have with this. The sound is kind of similar. I do like to have it around 50%, but the increments just aren't enough. Having a much greater range in the volume sliders would be nice. There are rebindable keys. Actually, there are no rebindable keys. So these are the actual keybinds, and these are basically just hotkeys. So I don't know why it's called keyboard shortcuts, because I mean, yeah, they are shortcuts. But these are basically the hotkeys for all the menus. Now you can play this entirely with the mouse, so it is one of those games that you can play very casually if you so choose, and I think that's the intention. It's not really marketed as a very serious game, but as you're going to see, there's a lot of depth to it. Also, the quit button being here... I mean, it would be alright if there was just a button on the main menu for quit, but I have seen this in other games before where the quit button is on the options menu, and I've never really liked that too much. Alright, let's start the game. Okay, so this is an introduction that I've actually already gone through, and it's replaying it again. I don't know why. It might not have saved the game. Let's just find out if that's what happened. So, a lot of the game's story elements are in this sort of dialogue section like this, and you can just click on the box itself to advance the story. And there's little sound effects in there, so it's a kind of a quirky style to it, which I quite like. The characters are very cute in a way. Very sort of hand-drawn style to it. And of course you can hear in the background the music again. That music is very cheerful. So he must be the grandson of Batata, or Batata, however you say it. Okay, so we'll just skip through this. The writing is pretty good. It's very light-hearted and very quirky, so it is just begging you to not take it too seriously, which is nice. It's a game that doesn't really take itself too seriously. And it's a little bit self-aware in the dialogue as well. Like the main character questions the currency of starch in the introduction. Kartoffel. Alright, so now we can name ourselves. We're going to call ourselves Panzer because I'm very, very imaginative. Weapon Paradise. Limited characters there. Alright, so we get an introduction, and immediately it goes into a tutorial where it shows where all the elements of the game are. Now, I'm not a big fan of this tutorial because it doesn't let you click anything other than what they want. Like, for example, I can't do anything other than this. And it's a very hand-holdy tutorial, which is okay, but I'm not a fan of games that do that. Mainly because, if, for example, I want to change the volume settings right now, I can't do that. Not to mention, there's no graphics options at all. Like, you saw the options menu earlier, there is no graphics options. Granted, it is 2D, so you're not going to have detail options in that big way, but resolution, full screen, borderless options, that would be nice. Bear in mind that this is a pre-release copy. By the time the game comes out, these things might be ironed out, so do take all this with a pinch of salt. So we've selected our character here called Laura Craft. Of course, game pun right there, very on the nose. And we can assign them to all these different spots, which will do different things for the weapons that we make. So we've got two new smiths over here. So we've got a metal worker and a craftsman, and they are better at different things. So in this case, we've assigned Laura Craft to boost weapon attack there. And craftsman will improve weapon speed, and metal workers will improve accuracy. So we can click on the panels here. And it's a very stock standard tutorial, so it's really holding your hand all the way through. So let's forge a weapon. So you can see here, these are the selections of weapons that we have to choose from. I think we can only make the dagger at the moment. So these are different classes of weapons, by the way. And then there are the actual weapon types here, and you can see there's actually quite a lot of them. Even in the dagger section alone, there's actually quite a lot of them. And they do get more complex as you go along, which is kind of the point. So here we can even see the actual stats of the weapon and the type of person that would be keen on buying that. So the way that works is once we forge a weapon, we will go to a town and try to sell it, and our best merchant skill character will be the one that will help to make that sale and make us the money. So, of course, getting the right type of weapon and trying to sell it at the right place to the right hero is kind of the whole point of the game. And there's a lot of management as well. The characters themselves level up. The weapons themselves also level up with them, or get better made as these characters get better at making them. And so on and so forth. It is a management sim in every definition. It is a management sim with a lot of RPG elements to it. So here we get to name our weapon, so we'll call it the pointy thing, because that is, after all, what it is. It's a pointy thing. And the flavor text is, well, you know, they are trying to be funny. It's not badly written by any stretch, no. It's just... But yeah, don't get me wrong, I do like the style of this game. It's very cute, and it's just surprisingly deep. That could actually be taken out of context in a very strange way. Yes, so this is one key point of the game. You are not the adventurer, you are supplying the adventurers. So the game is all about making the best possible weapons to get the best possible profit. You are in the business of supplying adventurers, which is a very nice sort of setting that I won't say is unique because it has been done before. There are games such as Puzzle Forge on iOS and Android that do this sort of setting, but at the same time it's not overdone. Not on PC, definitely. So kind of like this. Alright, I'm just going to quickly script through all this because it is a lot of reading and I don't want the video to drag on too long. So now the next step of the way is we have to sell the weapon. So again, look, we can't click anywhere else. That I just don't like this about tutorials that do this. You know, it just forces you to click the button. Alright, so here is one of the cities that we can go and sell the weapons that we have here. And you can even see which heroes are at that particular town. So here we have a ranger at level 10, and we have a thief. And the thief, of course, likes daggers, and the rangers like bows. So you can see, this is the character, of course, we want to sell a weapon to. So we select our pointy thing, and then we select a smith. Now this UI here, it was confusing to me when I first used it, because these do not look like buttons. The 1 and 2 do not look like buttons, but when you click it, it actually advances the menus. So a little bit fiddly. It's not too clear what each thing is. Alright, so here we have our characters who are all able to perform the role of merchants. The thing is, that is separate to their normal craft. Like, this is Lara Croft is a designer, then we have a craftsman and a metalworker, but merchant is a different skill entirely, and they are all on level 1. In addition, there's also explorer, which will come in later on when we're making new types of weapons. So here we can send anybody, and there is a mood as well, and I'm not too sure exactly how the mood affects it. I guess the higher the mood, maybe the better chance of a sale. But let's send Bulk Bogan out there to sell this weapon, and he gets teleported out. And then we have WhatsApp, which is a little bit buggy at the moment. There is a little bit of a bug here, but this is our notification system, and there are different tabs that will let us know what's happening fairly easily. So some of these overlap a little bit when notifications come in, but otherwise they're pretty fine. And it's nicely sorted out like this. We can actually see very easily. Alright, so we can have a look. The smith has found a customer, so let's go on and check out the offers that they've made. So if we go to the smith panel again, where we can see the exclamation marks there, and both of these characters do want to sell it to us, but our thief here is offering more, because I think this is the type of weapon that he prefers, so we are going to, of course, sell it to them. At the same time, these characters can level up as well, so you'll see that as these characters get better, they will perform better with these weapons, and we can actually make better weapons to sell them again, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of depth to it. The type of characters that you choose to sell the weapons to will in turn affect how things go later on down the line as well. Alright, so we can see here, the weapon has been sold, and we've made 375 starch. And then our thief here has leveled up. And there we go, we've got a temporary status effect as well. Our smith is hyperactive. So what does hyperactive do exactly? We get minus 20% attack, but plus 20% accuracy. Okay. So we can assign it back to... or assign him back to the metalworking side. And now we have more fame. So that is the overall forge leveling up as well. And that's the basics of the game, and you just sort of repeat over and over again. So we can go on to make another one. Let's start doing that. So our smiths can now boost them as well, so we can boost any one of these stats. Magic apparently comes later on. I think that's when we unlock the actual enchanting section there. So let's go ahead and boost the attack on this one, I think. Select a smith to boost it. We can even... This is an interesting thing as well, because I've seen this in games like Game Dev Story, I believe it was. You can actually hire outside workers to actually go and work on projects with you instead of using your own employees. So that can be a good or a bad thing. For example, we can use Lara Croft here, or we can use Beagle Brown or Donald Macaronald. These names, honestly. But of course that will cost us money. So in this case, I don't think we're going to make that much off of it, so I think we're going to stick with our own for now. And very much like Game Dev Tycoon and all that, we get these points that get added to the overall stat. And these have a slight randomness to them as well, so every weapon that you make, given the same conditions, can sometimes be better or worse, but the variation is very slight in most cases. In this case, that we've boosted the attack on this, so it's already much higher than it would normally be. So once that is done, we can even speed that up, actually. Alright, we'll stick with the name Dirk, why not? So this is a primary stat of 23. I think that's the highest we've had for this so far. Not surprisingly, because we've used a boost as well. So let's go ahead and sell that one. Let's go over here. And we've got more characters to sell it to. Now, we can just continue selling it to the same character, I believe. He's sort of neutral, happy. We're going to send Bulk Bogan out again so we can level up his merchant stat, hopefully. And let's speed that up and see what happens. We can, of course, get them to forge weapons again, but without one of the characters, I think that might not be the best of ideas. Alright, so we've got 4 offers here. And it turns out the fighter over here actually wants it the most. So if we give it to him, it'll level up the highest. So let's give it to him. Yes. We only care about the money anyway. Alright, let's see how that went. Alright, so that was a B rating weapon. And let's assign it back to there. Alright, and now we can actually purchase items, I believe. I don't know where that went to. Ah, there we go. So we can now go and shop. And these are some of the materials that we can buy. Now, of course, we do use materials to make different weapon types. So we need wood and we need rope to go and make a bow. So let's go ahead and purchase some of that. And we can purchase some iron as well. I don't know if we need bronze. Let's just get some of that anyway. And we'll send Bulk Bogan out again because I like abusing my employees. That makes the most sense. Alright. And let's assign him back there. Okay, so in this case now we should be able to make a bow, and I don't think we can make the axe yet because we don't have enough iron there. So we can actually go ahead and make a bow here. See the stats increasing there. It's UFO hovering over the shop. Now this here is one of the random events. This can happen at any point in time, and they give you random stats. It's kind of like drawing a wild card, really, and that will just happen there. So here we go. We've got a short bow. I'm not going to name that. And let's go over and sell this. Over here, and well, he's about to level up, so we'll use him one more time and then we'll switch. And there's a little progress bar ticking over there. Okay, so who wants it the most? Well, I think the ranger here wants it. The little animations are a little bit strange. It's an archer and there's a ranger. They both like bows, but he's gonna pay more for it, so I'm gonna level him up, or give him the weapon instead. Why not? All right, and we've got a weapon, a merchant level up. Now, you can sell more than one weapon at a time. If you noticed earlier on the right side panel, there are 3 slots. We can actually sell more than one weapon at a time. But that's basically the game. It's rinse and repeat. As you level up, you unlock more types of characters, more types of heroes, more towns, more materials, and so on and so forth. And you can see just from this alone, these are only the basic classes of weapons, but you can see even there's weapons, just huge selection of weapons to make. And as you go along, it's just going to get more and more complex. We're using more types of materials and, of course, researching to unlock all of these things. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Panzer taking a look at Holy Potatoes, a weapons shop. It's now available on Steam for $15 or your regional equivalent. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.